Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Please, camera on, everyone.
just a second.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Oh.
How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Internet died today, nonetheless. Was able to fix it, as always.
Oh, what
You get your new laptop?
So, guys, what do you want to go over, or does anyone has sales calls that we can review? Frederick, please turn your camera on.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Alex, do you have a sales call?
Yeah, I do.
Wonderful, then show it to me so I can show it to them.
Give me a second.
Frederick, it has been a while since I have seen your face.
Yeah. It's been a while that I've been doing something. Glad to be here.
There you go.
Did you had a follow-up with you have scheduled a follow-up with someone recently, haven't you? I think with the old one.
Yeah, with the old one. Actually, today we got in touch. We had the
How
meeting
was it?
booked for last week. Then he told me he's traveling back and told me to text him on the 13th. So now we're in the middle of scheduling one for
Okay.
like literally talk today to him. With her, I had a call maybe in December.
December.
Yeah.
What? Why December?
Like, because like I used to do outreach, but I was doing I think SEO. I was trying to do SEO at the time.
Oh, okay.
So then we didn't. She was busy, then sick. She's the one you told me once to call because she was on vacation, and you were like, you have her WhatsApp, just call her and ask her. Like,
Oh, I remember now. Yeah.
so I had a follow-up call with her.
All right, fair enough. So you can guys see this?
Yeah.
We're going for. We I could be better.
Alex, those things are not very healthy for your gums.
Man, they helped me stop vaping.
Have you tried nicotine patches?
Patches, I don't like patches. I also did chewing gum for a while.
And then
Shit.
chewing them is disgusting, huh?
It's fine, but this is better.
Well, not very healthy for your gums, though. Be careful.
At least my lungs are better, I guess.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Uh, I could be better, but it's all good. How are you?
Why, what happened?
No, I'm just overdid it last week, and I'm just hit with this bad fatigue for the last couple of days, and I'm just struggling to shake.
Which is it because of sickness or was it just warm?
It's a combination of lack of sleep, too much work, and
I guess
yeah.
familiar with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, definitely, and a little bit of sickness, yeah.
I hope I don't disturb you at a bad time in
No,
that case.
Why? This part wasn't unnecessary. You saying, cool, I can relate to that, or even mentioning something about, just basically being occupied with work, absolutely fine. But there was no reason for you to say, I hope I don't disturb you in this bad time.
no, all good, all good. No, it's
Okay.
okay, it's okay. Can handle it.
Because by the end of the day, there is a reason why she hopped on the call with you. It's not like you have forced her. If
Fair.
she would generally feel bad, then she will tell you. Wait, is this the one that vomited on the call?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you at the office or? She
No,
was
we
like
work-
hesitant. You'll see, but she was hesitant when I was about to show her pricing, but she was down. And she was like, look, like let's do another time. And I kind of talked her out of it to like
Okay.
keep, to fucking talk pricing. And she at some point she was like, sorry, 1 second, and then she just went off and came back. So, huh.
Okay.
Anyways.
working from home from Monday to Thursday now. Yeah.
That was convenient.
Very convenient for most of the time, yeah. And then on Fridays we go in for our team meetings and stuff.
See. Do you have a camera by any chance? Just feel comfortable talking face to face, unless
Oh, okay. Just hang on, just let me.
it's okay. If you're in your pajamas, it's no problem.
You have too much small talk, by the way. Like, I really hope now when she turns the camera on, you're gonna transition into, discovery. I really hope so. But you laughed when I said it, so I'm not very, confident
I
in
don't
it.
remember. Honestly, this has been what, over a week now? Or close. It's okay. No, I just like getting a feeling of actually like speaking to,
No,
to the person.
100%.
Right, so let me try to remember what from our last call.
Mhm.
Remember correctly, you're a financial planner with a bunch of experience and you're based in South Africa, and your goal mainly now is building a team. Is that about right?
Yeah,
Like, I'll still ask some questions that I probably already asked simply because I don't have like it's been some months, so just to refresh. So how long you been a planner for?
This year will be 9 years.
Is that since you passed the exams, the CFP exam and all that, or is there like a different qualification in South Africa?
So CFP is optional in South Africa.
Right.
All you need is your NQF level 5 in financial planning, very entry level. But I have, I've actually only have one module left that starts in 2 weeks. I'm finishing my postgrad in financial planning to write the CFP exam next year.
Okay, cool.
But because I have my honors in law, I was exempt from the qualification requirement when I joined the industry.
Why exactly?
Law and financial planning goes quite hand in hand over here.
Because you studied law.
Yeah, I studied law.
Oh, amazing. I have a law background as well, but I did
Amazing. Such a useful insight.
No,
Would
actually,
you want to hack her as well, just so she can relate?
No, she's the first planner I talked to that's from South Africa, so I was learning shit,
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, all that stuff. What kind of law did you study?
So we actually do everything in our 4 years. So the 4 years includes the honors program. So we do every branch of law in South Africa and international law as well. And then once we're in the field, we can specialize.
I see. So
I still have all of my, well, most of my textbooks.
yeah, it's a bunch of unnecessary paper.
No, but the university wasn't as tech savvy back in the day as they are now. So a lot of they couldn't get our textbooks online. Because I don't think
I still had to buy most of my textbooks and
yeah, because they actually didn't have ebooks.
Why? Alex, you dirty dog, are you trying to fuck her?
Her? I'm good.
Then, like, no reason for you to dive deeper into that direction.
Yeah, like now for my postgrad, I buy ebooks.
Right.
But
So what motivated you to switch? So you did your law studies and then you decided to be a planner almost instantly, or did you work in the industry and you didn't like it?
no, it was actually almost instantly. I took a gap year after my studies. And then I was going to register to do my BCom. So that's your general. So just a BCom general. And then Liberty, the insurance company, called me up and said, why don't you come and join us? We'll train you and pay for your studies. And I've been there ever since.
So you work at this company, right? How does the client structure there work? Because I've talked to flat planners and I've worked with planners that have work at a company but have their own book and are not affected by the company. They maybe pay a fee to the brokerage. And I've also worked with some that sort of share a book. Can you please clarify?
Yeah, so
That's a good question. Very good. And you're also learning to have a conversation while you're asking a question. So that's good.
Our product suppliers in South Africa are also FSPs. So most of the big ones will have their own financial advisors, the in-house financial advisors. So we'll be contracted directly to this FSP that happens to also be a product supplier. So that will be your likes of Discovery, Sanlam, Liberty, etc., etc. Whereas if you add a brokerage, that's an independent FSP and they've got a license to advise on all of those other products. If you are directly contracted to a product supplier, you can only advise on those specific set of products provided. So it's like it depends on which side of the fence you're on. If you add a brokerage, then you do accreditations and exams for all of the insurance houses and you can advise on all of them, or you can choose where you want to advise. But if you contract directly to that insurance house, then you can only advise on their products, and technically the clients you bring in would be their clients.
Right, so which side of the fence are you on?
I'm on the latter.
So
I was initially contracted directly to an insurance house, which trained me and paid for studies. But about 2 years ago, I joined a franchise of that insurance house. So we're still technically contracted to that insurance house, but we have a brokerage attached to the franchise as well.
Which, technically speaking, doesn't really answer your question, so I really hope you have clarified that.
so
No,
but I understood what basically there is kind of two main types. There's fee-based and there's commission-based. Commission-based is like the shitty ones.
Yes.
Because they basically pointless insurance for commission.
That's why you want to clarify which one either is the focus on or which one is she mainly spending her time or investing her time into.
No, but here I understood that she's commission-based. When she said that basically her clients are not her clients and she sells insurance products. If it's insurance, it's always commission-based, well, most of the time.
Okay.
So make
that's
money
fine.
anyways.
But again, you just want to clarify. And it can be something as easy as, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, you are blah, 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 blah.
Okay, just to show
just so you are 100% sure that you're on the same page. Because believe it or not, if you have knowledge about something, you may have the tendency to put someone in a better scenario than they are actually at.
Yeah. Okay, so just clarify. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so you get paid commission for selling a product, or do you also get fees for results?
So the insurance house that we are contracted to only allows you to charge a fee if you have a CFP designation.
Oh, so that's your plan from next year?
So that's the plan. However, if I were to leave and join a brokerage, I would be able to charge a fee. So those planners at the insurance house that are CFPs, they charge an hourly rate. And then some of them, if you take the plan that they are offering or take the solution that they are offering, they will waive the fee because they will receive commission from the deal that they're putting in place.
Right. So then, if I understand correctly, from what I've seen, often commission-based planners, the job basically consists of sales. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you try to bring new clients in, or do you sell more products to the existing clients? Or do you do a bit of both?
So it has to be both. They don't have a choice because our regulations in South Africa say that we need to review our current clients. So we have to call those clients and make sure they're okay and they're happy with what they have, or if anything needs to be adjusted. So we need to see our client book. But if we want to expand and grow business and obviously earn more income, we will bring on new clients.
Okay, so your goal then is to bring more clients, because then, if I assume correctly, you get paid more for bringing new rather than up.
You had the information that she wants to build her team, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got into that.
The amount of times she says we, I will just immediately assume that she's a fucking 9-to-5er, but taking consideration.
No, she has a team. She'll get into. I got into that later as well.
Okay.
Upselling existing customers.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. But you do. It all depends on how much you upsell the existing clients by, and you also receive what we call trail commission from your existing client.
What is a trail commission?
So it's when there's an increase in a policy, or when you've added an advice fee on an investment, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so either way you get paid, but I'm assuming it also looks better if you bring new business, right?
Yeah. So for a brand new advisor that doesn't have a book, new business is very, very important. Your pipeline of new business is very important because that's your bread and butter. For more
so you do have your own book then?
Sorry?
So you do have your own book?
Yes, I do have my own book.
Okay. And how big is it? Like how many clients?
Big. I've filtered down a lot of my clients to my team. So I only manage about 150 at the moment.
I'm assuming in this structure, opposed to fee-based only, you need less time per client, right? Because
Yeah,
100
yeah.
okay.
Less time per client because we're not charging an hourly rate. It's basically the end deal. Yeah.
And how many clients have you dispersed to your team? And like, if you
Oh,
could walk me through, like, if it's your team, I'm assuming you're their boss, right?
yeah.
How many people are in your team? And like,
So
roughly how many clients do they have?
I don't know the figure offhand, but we're about 10 in a team, including myself. You can say in the entire branch.
If she's managing a fucking team, how come she doesn't know the exact number of the team?
She said 10, including myself.
She said she's not sure. It's probably 10 and including herself.
We have about
Like, she was unsure about it.
almost 1,000 clients.
Mhm.
Some advisors get a bit more because they have more capacity, more experience. Other advisors, like if I want to, there was an advisor that I wanted to gain some more experience in Sharia compliant portfolios. So I gave him a client that was specifically in a Sharia compliant portfolio, and that needed to be serviced. And I went with him on that call, assisted him with the planning and everything so that he could see the process and just gain some insight into how it works.
See.
She has mentioned capacity and also like time availability in terms of how many clients does an advisor have or get. So I will also actually want to probably clarify in this case, what's her capacity? Is the 150 max capacity that she has? And if no, does she want to share the max capacity with the team, or does she want to focus on the max capacity for herself and then spread it over the team?
All right. Are you currently at max capacity?
Poor Alex, you're learning. Oh my goodness.
Say so. I wouldn't say I'm at max. I've intentionally reduced my capacity to accommodate my studies. I finished 3 postgrad modules last year, which did drain me a lot. I'm still trying to recover from that, and because I'm finishing it off this year, I will probably pick up closer to the end of the year again. But I needed to reduce the amount of work I take on, the amount of clients I take on to make sure I have time for my studies.
What?
Which doesn't really answer your question. So in this case, you will want to have clarified, which is, okay, so I understand your time constraints because of the studies, because of the advisor's work, but then is 150 the max capacity you can currently be at because of the time constraints? Or is there any other number that you think you could have handled or you can handle?
What methods do you generally use or have you tried to use for client generation, for lead generation?
I do really good with referrals. Because I meet a lot of people and my friends and my family refer me to a lot of people. This week alone, I think it's only Wednesday, I've gotten 5 referrals. Yeah, so some I've given, so I've given.
Please don't do that. I don't know if you've seen what you have did, but when she said the number, you're like, oh, okay. Like, in
So
a
don't look
positive
impressed.
manner. No, just don't be impressed.
Okay.
Because that doesn't really matter. Like, yes, she can have, for example, 5 referral calls on, let's say, Friday, but then let's say next 2 months she's not gonna have anything. And you just make her feel good about the 5 that are on Friday.
Given a few to one of my advisors, and then there's about 2 that I will take on myself because it's a complicated client. So that is one avenue. I get invited to a lot of presentations. I'm doing one next week for the government nurses. I also get invited to corporate presentations. I go to a lot of networking events. And obviously, when you attend these kinds of events, you go there.
How long was she doing this for? Did she say 8 years? Was it 9 or 8?
9. But
9 this year.
basically,
So
she's now getting her CFP. CFP is kind of like the proper job, meaning that everything and a lot of these 9 years was probably just corporate job, basically salesperson.
see, because
she's doing it soon, I figured she's gonna need soon because she's gonna be independent.
yeah.
You know.
See, but here you could have also asked also how long have you been being invited to those events? Because take into consideration how proudly she told you to how many different events she's being invited to, 150 doesn't seem like a lot.
Right. Okay.
Like generally speaking, especially for someone who has been in the space for 9 years, because even if let's say let's say she was active for 9 years, yes, it would mean that she got what, 16 clients per year? Yeah.
No, but if I understood correctly, like most of her team is people she, like what I also remember from last call, most of her team is people she recently added. So she gave everybody a bunch of clients. So out of the 1,000 that her team manages, like, okay, I should clarify.
Yes,
But
but
I
do you get my
assume that
point?
it's like 80-90% she got it herself, you know.
Yes, but do you get my point? This is also where you want to have clarified that, because yes, her
Yeah.
team is managing, she said, I think more or less 2,000 people in the combined book. Wonderful,
Yeah.
but how many came, for example, from her referrals? Or how many people has she redirected towards her team?
Yeah, fair.
They with an objective in mind.
Because even if it's 10 people, did she say 10 people plus her, or was it 10 including her?
Sorry?
Did she say 10 people plus her, or was it 10 including
10
her?
including her.
Yeah, but let's say hypothetically speaking, it will be 10. So even if it's 200 people, 2,000 clients under the book, it will mean that everyone has more or less 200 underneath themselves.
She says she has 150.
Yes. So
So
that will,
850 divided by
yeah.
9, everybody has like what, 90?
Yeah.
90 something.
So the entire interaction is I need to meet my objective, which is getting.
By the way, is she also getting a cut on that? Have you asked that somewhere in the call?
Let me check. I think so.
Because this is also something you will want to have known. Because then on the basis that she quite literally told you, her focus is to build the team. This is also something you will want to use in the middle of the presentation. Or even by the calculations.
Well, I didn't calculate, but basically what she already said, what I already asked. So she gets a commission per sale, and then basically that applies to both upsells and to just
No,
new
yes.
customers.
But then if she has 10 people underneath her that are managing more or less 2,000 people, does she get commission on their commission? Or is she taking
Good
some?
point.
Because
Yeah,
by the
should
end
have
of the day, in which ward do you want to build a team that you don't benefit of, especially in such an industry?
X amount of referrals, or at least setting up or getting X amount of numbers or something, or like book appointments during the session. Yeah, and then I just work it from this. So I always tell my advisors, you need to at least see at the bare minimum 2 people a day, 2 brand spanking new people a day.
What about non-referrals, non-networking efforts, such as emails, cold calling, social media? Have you tried any of that?
Social media, yes. I did. There was a stage during the pandemic where I had a big online presence. I tried to maintain it, but with building a team and training them, it does take up a lot of time. I have enlisted someone to help me with content. But what kept my business afloat during lockdown was actually my social media account.
Social media, was it? Was it LinkedIn or Instagram?
It was actually more Facebook.
Facebook.
It was actually more Facebook. I wasn't that well acquainted with LinkedIn. And yeah, so I've only recently started being more active on LinkedIn and doing more posting more on LinkedIn. Yeah.
I see. What would you say is your goal planning wise?
Muted.
Yeah, no, I realized. Throughout the whole call, one important thing, have you also clarified how much is she actually making with those 250 or even those 2,000 people?
No. I didn't find, I didn't find the moment where I thought that it wouldn't come off as.
No, it could have been literally where she told you that more or less with her team, they are managing 2,000 people.
So let's say something like
No, like when she told you that, then you will want to have said, okay, so you have mentioned to me that you're taking basically the consulting fees, and there is also a fees when you're, for example, selling additional services for them. Then just so I have clarity in mind, I will assume this is also the same deal structure that everyone on your team is on. Okay, cool. And when your team closes something for the pool of 2,000 people, more or less, that you said that you have in the combined book, do you also take a fee on that? Okay, cool. And is the fee coming from their fee or is it an additional fee? Oh, okay, okay. So, sorry, because I think I never asked, how much are you managing under those 2,000 people? Okay. And what's your fee on that? Do you, because I know that, for example, a lot of financial planners are taking a yearly fee. Some of them are taking a monthly fee. What's the fee in your case? Or as a matter of fact, you can literally say, so how many deals were you able to, or how many services or how many consultations were you able to do last year? Because then you can break down what she made in a year and what was the monthly. Especially because that's South Africa, so the currency is super weak. So it can be either a lot or it can be very, very cheap.
See, the thing is, yeah, okay. Thing is, I can't calculate it like this with her because basically her job is selling insurance packages.
Yes, but then how many have you sold?
Hmm.
Because in the worst case, you're just going to have a lower number than it actually is.
Okay.
You're just going to just calculate based on that. It's always better to have a number rather than don't have any. Because in your case, if let's say everything will work pretty smoothly and you're going to get to the pricing, you're going to be in a situation where it's a hit or miss. So whatever price you're going to decide on showing her, it's either going to be too low and she's going to be like, oh, that's cheap. Or it's going to be too high, which she's going to say, oh, that's too expensive.
That's what happened, basically.
Yeah.
No, roughly speaking, for the next 6 to 12 months.
So planning.
Yeah.
So the goal I have for this year for my financial planning business is to add another 50 clients
50.
to my personal book. Yeah.
Also, one important thing to note. I don't know if you've noticed, but any other financial planner you have spoke with in USA, they will not speak in clients, they will speak in numbers. She speaks in clients. So there is a chance that those clients are not very high value, because of which it's better for her or it's more comfortable for her to just say the client's number instead of the number that she's actually managing. Obviously, like in this case, it's a fucking, it's not really managing the book as how much money is in the book. In this case, it's just insurance, but nonetheless, you will want to have clarified that. Or at least what's the average insurance package you're selling? Because based on that, you can then clarify what is, for example, the monthly or what is the yearly or even what the LTV is, so lifetime value of the clients she's working with. So you can at least fucking calculate how much the 150 clients are bringing her.
Yeah, this is something I'll be more prepared. This is the first time I talked to a commission-based, so I was just yeah, blanking on these.
Yeah, but especially when someone's commission-based, they should be more incentivized to actually get more money. Because if something is commission-based, you are capable of making more in most cases. That's a perfect example is, for example, when you hire a cold caller, if you pay someone on like a certain base, it's going to be cheaper for you in the long run rather than if they are on a performance, because the performance is going to fuck you in the ass when it comes to prices. And it works like this in most of the businesses because you can find very good, basically free labor till you need to pay them.
I was taking a bit 2025 was more of a light year just to finish off all of the studies and trainings that need to be done. Yeah, so 50 seems like a good one, a good number.
But like, hypothetically speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we work together and bring you 50 in like to May, would you not handle it? Would it be too much?
No, of course I would handle it. Of course I would handle it. I would obviously check out the specs.
Also, one important thing, she's at 50. Have you clarified what she also wants to bring to the team?
No.
So 50 is only for herself. So she should be able to handle that. So the way you want to clarify, even if you have asked this question, that's fine. Like not necessarily the best question, but that's fine. That gives you more clarity. But then what you want to do, okay, so on the basis that we will, for example, hypothetically speaking, start working together, we'll bring you the 50. If something is going to be above 50, is it going to your team or is it going to be handled by you? Because that also should change either the way she pursues it or how much she's making, assuming she will also take a cut of the team. And that also should save her time because she's still focused on her degree.
Yeah.
Determine what kind of planning they need, and then just work according to my system. Yeah. So I have like a lot of, just like the booking service that you have online, I have the same thing. So even for existing clients, if they want to see me, I send them that link and I tell them just find a slot somewhere that works for you and works for me. Because I'm not always at my desk. I don't always have my schedule on hand, so it's just more effective for me to send them a link.
See. Out of these 50 clients that you want to get, is it 50 you said for your book, right? Do you also count that? Do you also take into account the clients that you're planning to give to your team? Or
no? So that's
no.
50 for me. So it's like a net 50. So if I happen to get like 60 or 70, my net amount for the year needs to be 50. Because look, I also have a client profile, so a specific client base that I like to deal with. So if a particular client doesn't meet my specs, then I will hand it over. Also, there's sometimes a clash in personality. Like for instance, we have a very big Islamic community in South Africa. So there are certain Islamic men that do not want to sit with a female financial advisor. I would have to give that client off to Islamic male financial advisor. So yeah, it all depends on the client.
And here it will be so good to know if she will also take cut on that or not. And with all due respect, if I will need to choose an Islamic male advisor or her, like, you know, not even because of the religion, I would just go for the man. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I had multiple opportunities. That question just slipped my brain.
Okay.
Quite a unique problem to have. No, there's not a lot
Africa is very unique.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you just say?
No, there's not a lot
Africa is
of.
very unique.
Said it's a unique problem to have.
How is it a problem? What do you have to say against Islamic brothers?
No, for her it's a problem because she loses clients.
No, like it's absolutely normal. Even when you are in UAE, do you know how many fucking nationalities or religions do you have here?
Bro, I'm Russian, so most of my friends are Islamic, you know. Like
yeah. So
like, I don't have any problems with the Islamic brothers, you know.
No, that's besides the point. I was just joking. Like this comment doesn't make sense. That's a quite unique problem to have. Because then let me explain. It then comes across for her as if you will not know shit about Africa.
Mm.
Like, I don't know if you know, but there are also white people in South Africa.
No, I know.
Unique.
Yeah.
She's a bad example, but there are white people there.
Interesting.
Wonderful. You're not making noises when you think. I'm so proud of you.
How many clients would it take to put you at what you think is optimal outcome? As in max capacity with your team being happy, everybody having enough clients.
Yeah.
Like your ultimate goal, right?
Ultimate goal. I've never actually thought of that, because whenever a goal is met, we just move the post.
Yeah, it's quite a retarded question. What you want to have ask is, for example, okay, so assuming we can call the 50 clients mark as a short-term goal for this year, yes. What would you consider a long-term goal for you and your team? Simple as that.
I used max capacity. I was trying to understand like how much new clients she could handle, and then I was
wonderful, but then but that's fine. But then ask about the long-term goal with her and her team, and then ask what will be with the current numbers that you have, including yourself and the 9 people under you, what will be the max capacity of you and your team? And if you even want to go that far, what will be your max capacity after you finish your degree? Taking into consideration your time constraints are going to be eliminated or erased or whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, just to confirm, do you want to join the next session as well? Because I would love to just finish this. One person is nodding. Other people don't show any emotions. Like, I'm just not going to end this here. I prefer to just sit the 15 minutes through, but then I would like to continue on the other call as well.
We might have time till 45 more minutes.
Cool. I'm just
I'll
gonna.
leave in about half an hour if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
I have to get up tomorrow.
What a bitch.
So if I
Sleep
tell
is
you
all
now
right.
that our ultimate goal is for each advisor to have 700 clients, when that time comes, I promise you, we're going to move that goalpost. We were the #1 team in the company last year. And like we knocked out every record that was put forth to us last year. And one would think we take just take a seat and soak it in and be like, okay, no, guys, we've made it. No. So we literally just moved the goalpost. Okay, guys, so we've made X amount of production credits. We are now aiming for Y amount of production credits this year.
Yeah, I absolutely get your point. So just let me clarify. How long did it took you and your team to get to those 2,000? Because then you can more or less calculate how long it should take her with the current amounts to get to 7,000, which she wants to have as a goal.
I think she said 700 more.
Yeah,
But that was like
100
that was-
times 10 is 7,000.
No, so she has 1,000, and I think that 700 was a fucking number out of the ceiling, as in like to
No,
to set an example that, oh, if we have 700, we reach that, we have a new goal, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think she meant it as an
Okay,
actual
one would think
number.
fourth, not and we were the #1 team in the company that said that the post
useless.
Right.
ultimate goal. Whenever a goal is met, we just move the post. So if I tell you now that our ultimate goal is for each advisor to have 700 clients.
That was fucking hypothetical. But then you could have asked, oh, okay, so would you say that the ultimate goal for every single advisor to have 700 clients? If no, cool. What the fuck is the number? Because like currently you're asking more or less good questions, but she's ignoring your answers. Like she doesn't give you answers because the way you ask the questions is not incorrect, or you're not going deeper and clarifying.
I see.
When that time comes, I promise you, we're gonna move that goalpost. We were the #1 team in the company last year. And like
How many other teams are there in the company? How many clients do those teams manage? How many people are in those teams? Because if there is, for example, a team of 2 people that are managing 200 people, there is no fucking comparison. Or if there is a team of, let's say, I don't fucking know, 5 people that are managing 500 each, then cool, her team is gonna be better. But at the same time, is it actually? Because she's, for example, managing a bigger amount, but with more people. Do you get my point? Like you also have to clarify that. Because currently, okay, you need to understand when it comes to fat people, there are only 2 kinds of fat people. There are people who are fat because they're lazy, or there are people who are fat because they're comfortable.
Right.
And currently, throughout the whole call, you made her very comfortable. And this, based on her look, you can assume she's comfortable. But because she doesn't necessarily seem lazy, especially based on everything she said to you so far. Granted, you also don't know because you have never clarified most of the numbers. But the only thing you know is that she's currently working in this for 9 years. She's still doing her degree to actually develop herself in the career. So she's able to at least manage her time.
Yeah, no, I
knocked
was
out every
struggling to find pain points. Like, because she seems like,
just look at her.
yeah, I'm not gonna fucking like go like, bitch, you're fat, so pay me money, you know?
No. But that's not what I meant, Alex. I'm not here to judge people. What I meant is, as I said, when it comes to fat people, it's either laziness or being comfortable. So just ask questions in order to check out or not check the boxes. So you can then stumble upon something that may release the pain.
So basically, should have just asked.
What I'm gonna say is gonna be terrible, but at the same time, this is life. If someone looks like this, there is a pain somewhere. You just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're born looking like a whale. Like it takes time and effort, believe it or not. It's like, you know, you bolding, like it takes effort.
It's stress, yeah. Induced, self-induced.
In your case, it's just, you know.
Record that was put forth to us last year. And one would think we take just take a seat and soak it in and be like, okay, now guys, we've made it. No. So we literally just moved the goalpost. Okay, guys, so we've made X amount of production credits. We are now aiming for Y amount of production credits this year. These are your individual targets. This is the amount of risk you need to be.
At the same time, when you made her all excited about the goals that never existed and how, you know, her team was the best in the company, you could have also asked, okay, so what was your goal last year? Because then you could have also calculated if she has even fucking reached it. Because if not, then why will she call herself the best team in the company? Or obviously the best in comparison to what? Because if you compare yourself to someone in a wheelchair, obviously you're gonna be the best fucking runner in the world.
Yeah, no, she also said that they broke some records. I could have asked her about what those records were or whatever. Like there was plenty of opportunity.
Like, do you get my point? Like you have missed
Yeah.
a lot of opportunities to clarify things that will have also changed not only how you see her, but also how she sees herself. And give me 1 second, guys, because I have chili in my nose and it's fucking burning.
Hey Alex, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How did you get like a client from South Africa?
How I
Like
how
I'm
I got
assuming you're
somebody
not.
from South
I'm
Africa.
assuming you're not targeting, or are you?
Look, so now I'm doing outreach mainly to US based planners. This was December when I first talked to her. So there I was just basically going to LinkedIn, typing financial planners, and then I was just fucking sending a bunch of invites. She just happened to be one of the people that jumped on the call. And now since I joined the mentorship, I caught up with her again, and you know.
Yeah, basically Alex had the
Oh.
problem that he didn't know how to charge people. And while he was even like some calls he had, not that bad. Obviously, there was place to improve. He had the problem that he just didn't knew how pricing works. So he, for example, had even a client that was just working for free. Then he spoke to me. I was like, just drop him. Believe it or not, on the basis that he will need you, taking into consideration his age, he's gonna come back to you. Then the person come back to him because I also told Alex to follow up. And Alex, big balls. Look, I know you need me. This is how much I cost. Take it or leave it. Because that's also the importance of the pricing. Otherwise, like people are not going to respect you. Like Alex, would you agree that when you were working for free for him, there was a difference?
No, there's two different guys. This guy was working for cheap, but I did he started a new company and I did like a one-time project, like a website and it's like a brand book and whatnot for like a few thousand. And then he was paying me 500 for social media, but he didn't know what the fuck like he needs, you know. I tried to upsell, he was like stubborn, so I was like, okay, look, like bye-bye. The guy who was working for free was the fintech dude.
I was a fintech.
Working, yeah, I was working performance based because I met him like for trading. He asked me for my expertise as a trader, and then I helped him out with some advice, and then I tried to get into the marketing side, you know.
Awesome. Okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Does Celine has any more questions? Even though you know there is no reason to socialize. He's not there yet. He may be better in trading, but believe it or not in life. He's balding. You can ask him good questions when the hairline regrows, which probably happened after a revisit in Turkey.
Artificially, yes.
I think Frederick is gonna blow up in a second, holding water in his mouth.
In investments, etc. Go forth and conquer. So the first, we start quite early in the year. Our rookies start on the 3rd of Jan. They have their first session on the 3rd of Jan, and then for the next week and a half, we have like business planning sessions, where they need to present to us what's their goals for the year, what kind of industry they're gonna work in, what's their approach, what's their marketing strategies. So we do that in the beginning of January, so that can be implemented and revised by the end of March.
So just to summarize quickly, we've been in the industry for 9 years. next year you're planning to take CFP, and then maybe look at options of becoming independent. You're an insurance franchise, you work commission-based, and maybe from next year you'll be able to charge fees as well.
Mm-hmm.
You do a combo of bringing in new clients and selling current clients. Maybe sometimes get a trail commission. You have
No,
150
always get a
clients.
trail commission, always. So it's
Sorry.
standard. So when you write the policy, there's an automatic increase that you add on the policy. So every year. So if I activate something now in March, next year March, that policy is going to increase. And so March every year it's going to increase. So with that increase, you will get commission.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're currently managing 150 clients and 9 people, roughly 1,000 clients for the whole team. Ideally, by the end of the year, you want 50 clients.
Yeah.
And you were doing well with social media, especially during COVID times. However, you stopped. On that topic, could you give me some numbers? Because you said you were doing very well, but only social media kept you afloat during COVID times. Could you explain how so?
Yeah, we couldn't go out like we used to, and during that time I was in a wheelchair. Like a month before hard lockdown in SA, I had an accident. I broke my ankles, and I was in a wheelchair for about 6 months. So I needed to find like my luckily that's how I can attest to it. My income protection paid out, so I was fine financially. But I also my business couldn't lay dormant for 6 months. So I partnered up with members in my team. This was before I was in management. And I would create posts around what was happening in the country, what people were struggling with, and just giving them like information about what they can do. Like a lot of people were looking for payment holidays or investment payouts and all of that stuff. And a lot of them didn't know where to go or what to do. So I created posts about that, and I got daily interactions on the post. I got people requesting meetings. I can't exactly remember the number, quite some time ago.
Roughly how many clients do you think you got off of just social media? Roughly, like an estimate.
Roughly about 20.
In a period of what? You also want to clarify
6
that?
months.
No, but this is based on your assumption. But you will want to have clarified that, because yes, she has mentioned 6 months.
Also
But
clarify it doesn't to basically make the point that it's nothing.
yes.
Okay.
Because at the same time, she wants to hit, for example, 50 this year, yes? Cool. With, let's say, with this number, that will be 40 over a period of 12 months, on the basis that 20 is in a period of 6 months. It can also be less, because her company was not able to do any dormant or not even able to go to clients for a period of 6 months. But the clarification, 0, non-existent basically.
That's all during 6 months of lockdown.
Yeah. So we had a hard lockdown up until May, and then we had different levels. So each level came with a bit of freedom. Yeah. So level 5 was like you can't go anywhere, you must stay in your house. Only those with permits are allowed out. The same with level 4, and then
By the way, fun fact, you were able to buy the permit in South Africa.
level 3
You were
was you
able
could
to
go
buy
to
what?
work
You were able to buy the permit in South Africa.
if you received a permit
course.
from your employer, etc. And yeah.
So why did you stop social media?
During that time, I think closer to the end of that same year, our manager got fired. And I was the most senior person in the branch at the time, and head office requested that I caretake the team for like a month or two, and then January of the next month.
That will make so much sense. She never built a fucking team. She was just the one they needed to find someone that can take care of the team.
No, but see, why said that she wanted to build a team. The last call we had, obviously I had no proper
But at the same
fucking
time, you
knowledge.
still don't have any At the same time, you still don't have any numbers. The only thing you know is that he has a specific criteria of clients, which you have also not clarified where the criteria is. So whenever someone doesn't fit this criteria, he just sends them towards the team. So at the same time, you are also not aware of the fact, cool, the team has more or less 1,000 people, yes, in the book. Cool. How many of those was she able to help to get them? Or was this thanks to the manager that then got fired? Or was it in the time of the manager and she didn't really send anyone. Because the only person that she has mentioned it when there was one person on her team that wanted to do something, so she just assisted with it. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
There is a difference in building a team and being a leader. And for example, taking a short-term sacrifice in order to make it back without the other effort, because obviously you can be one-man company or you can build a team. But at the same time, you don't know how much of the team was she able to build, or the manager that was previously managing it. Because at the same time, when the manager was there, she had different responsibilities. So the 150 that she has may have been either super high or super low.
Asked me to join the management program and to slowly start to take over the team. So my focus kind of shifted from bringing in new clients, building a big pipeline, to now being on a management program and building a team.
Is social media, or so to speak, online client generation something that you'd go back into?
Yes, 100%. I'm actually changing my perspective now. So I'm actually trying to create more awareness about the profession in order to recruit. So
How many more team members are you looking for?
Me personally,
What are you looking for? Your hair? What are you looking for?
Charger, bro.
looking for about 6.
6 more.
Yeah, looking for about 6 more.
I like how Frederick was the only person that heard my comment and he bursted out laughing.
Based on everything you've told me, I know I can help you get to those results.
Wonderful. So Alex, how much is she making? You don't know. What's the goal for the team? You don't know. What does she want to make after she graduates? You don't know. You're definitely able to help her. You just don't know where.
However, if these plans are a bit more long-term for you and it's not really a priority, then it doesn't really make sense for me to explain you exactly why, if that makes sense.
What plans?
I like to get 15 more clients, to get 6 people. If you're willing to change something to get them as soon as possible, then I know I can help you, and maybe I can show you what exactly it is that I do. Because I've told you that I work with financial planners. I don't think we ever genuinely talked about it.
Yeah, never, ever. Well, that is the 2025 goal. It's not going to go beyond the 2025. So it's a do or die. 50 clients, 6 new advisors by the end of the year. That's the goal.
What steps have you already taken towards that goal?
Besides me being on leave, I've been booked for a few presentations. I've consulted with someone to assist with social media, to get the post up running. I've put ads out on LinkedIn for advisors, and I've started to review clients. So I've gotten somebody for.
You want to? I really hope you have asked that. What's the ad budget that she wants to start with?
I did not ask.
Okay. Have you asked what the other company is that is going to manage social media for her, or what the outcome was?
No.
Kind of bad, ain't it? Because at the same time, like, someone from South Africa could have contacted her and be like, "Hey, I can do social media for you for $50." So obviously, if you're gonna have a different pricing, like, she will not understand the value difference.
So yeah. So basically, what I've been doing. So what is it that you do for financial advisors?
The fuck was that? Did her microphone not work, or did her brain stopped working?
I don't know, man. Microphone was fine. I'm willing to show
Also
you
changed the
and
name.
explain it to you in detail.
Huh?
The name
What?
changed also, I think.
Her name.
No.
She's gone now. Matt Kovalis in the meeting.
No, you
Whatever.
have problems with your eyes. Her name did not change. No.
I swear to you,
No,
that's Matt Kovalis. Like, whatever.
No, you're retarded. Matthew has joined this call, because that's why I asked you guys if you want to join the next call. So I just sent a link to Matthew. You're looking at the wrong fucking person. We're not talking about Celine. We are talking about the fatty with triple chin. Her triple chin is still there.
However,
Yeah,
I do
you're
need to
right.
know that if you do see and understand the value of it, that you're not just doing it just to, to waste my time, so to speak. Like that you are willing to take steps.
No, I don't
right?
have an opinion because I don't know what you do yet.
Right. Okay, well, let me quickly share my screen for you. I will show you a presentation. A second. Are you counting how much it takes? I do incentivize you to stop me at any
How
moment.
much
By the
time
way.
would
This presentation is not meant as a fourth grade kid presenting in front of his class, for a good
Why
grade.
why the fuck do you speak so much when you opening a presentation? Obviously, opening a presentation should not take 1 minute.
This is for you to ask me any questions you might have, right?
Okay.
So do you?
Wonderful. 1 minute, 5 seconds.
That was also again before
One link to open and one button to share your screen.
That was before I changed the presentation again, so don't.
Yeah, I see your
now.
useless presentation. I also like the fact that, which I have never noticed, that your logo is not in the middle.
Tell me when you see it. What do you
I
mean?
can see it.
Right. So
Look, that's the screen, yes?
mhm.
There is one corner, second corner, third corner, fourth corner, yes? And I don't know if you know it, but in every screen you have pixels. And there is a line that is going like this, and there is a line that's going like this. So would you consider that this here is in the middle of the screen? Or would you consider that it's a little bit fucking lower underneath it?
Unless you want it higher. I put it where the other logo was. I just removed it.
Yes, but other logo was fluffy. So it was bigger. This one ain't big. So put it in the middle, please.
Branded ROI. Do Why? it right Because
Oh.
now. Basically
I know I saw your screen changing color, so I assumed you have been opening your presentation.
a lot of what I do revolves around branding. Branding is the most important, especially when it comes to financial planners, because it's literally you who personally works with clients, right?
Same here.
Basically, our main pillars are: we make sure to return you the money through clients. We create a full brand identity, which will also help in you building a team and increase your database. These numbers.
When it comes to full brand identity, you could have literally said, which will also allow you to attract more people into the industry. So whenever you're gonna look for someone who wants to be an advisor as well, this is also something that will help. Besides that, everyone in your area, or even South Africa, taking into consideration South Africa is not that big, we will be able to simply make you the most recognizable financial advisor in South Africa.
I added a screenshot to the chat. Can you look if that's better? That is in the middle now.
It's not loading.
Hmm.
Not loading. When it's loaded, I can tell you.
Numbers that are written here, the 10x and the 3x, are not just, so to speak, artificial numbers. This is based off of clients that I've worked with, right? This is my data. Now, the goal here is basically to make you the person that somebody thinks about in your area whenever they have the need for a financial planner. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How we get there is we use something called geo-targeted branding. Now, this is unique on the market. Everybody offers all sorts of marketing. Now, if you find somebody who does this specific service on,
you could have literally said, as a matter of fact, you have mentioned to me someone wants to manage social media for you. There are people who do that. You have also mentioned to me you want to do LinkedIn advertising. There are people who only are doing that. What we do is combining all of those things, which I also explained to you more in details. So you don't necessarily only benefit from one side of things, but from all of them combined. Better explanation, take into consideration what she said to you, like literally 5 minutes ago.
your area or with financial planners, please let me know, so I'm aware of the competition. So far, I haven't seen anybody do the same. Basically, what it is that we focus on your area. So, okay, here it's an example, it's Miami, but it's Florida, but it doesn't really matter, right? We will make sure that in South Africa, you're the person who's known. You're the first person that comes to mind when somebody thinks of financial planners. So at the center of it, we have an ad campaign, right? Now this ad campaign is not just regular ads. It sends them to a website where they have to spend another 10 minutes trying to figure out what it is that the financial planner does. What we do instead is that we use these ads to send people to your social media. Hence, we enhance your branding. So people will see you as a competent financial planner with the ads. So instead of marketing the product, we market you.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
That's what we are taught to do.
Yeah, but everybody, a lot of the time, people know what they're supposed to do, yet they don't, right? Now this is,
As an example, you know your social media was working and you stopped for some reason.
is that not just rubbing it in, or is that good for negative
No, it's
report?
just making her realize. This is literally what she told you.
Mhm.
She stopped and she regrets it. That's why she wants to come back to it. No, like, you need to understand, if I make a mistake and you can point it out, I will appreciate it. Because I prefer that over someone who's just gonna lick my ass. Especially when it comes to business.
Something that is also unique to us, to my team. It's called pixel tracking. As you can see here, roughly speaking, it's a piece of code.
Why don't you just ask her if she knows what pixel is? Like, literally, this is also important to ask due to the fact that you can educate the prospect without just doing it on force. It's only when it's needed.
So I
It's
asked to
something
read
as
the
simple
need.
as, by the way, are you familiar with pixel? Okay, no, absolutely fine. Then let me just explain to you what pixel is. And the reason it helps us with tracking is, and the reason we are using it is because blah, 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 blah. Or if someone says yes, okay, wonderful. Then let me just explain to you why is it we are using pixel.
Okay, I see. I was literally gonna ask, what if they say yes?
No, yeah, because then you can either more or less skip the slide on the basis that they understand that you just explain why is it important that you're using it, or you can educate the prospect. And believe it or not, if you educate someone, they're gonna trust you more.
That is placed on the ads, so that we collect data from the people that click on the ads. So somebody saw your ad, clicked on it, went to your Instagram profile or your Facebook profile, looked at your posts, maybe left, maybe didn't do anything, maybe didn't book a call. We get their information. So then when we do outreach with people who we know are interested, who we know have seen your profile. So the response rate is right off the bat way higher. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah, on top of that, we retarget them. So we, as you can see here, we do a year retargeting, meaning if somebody clicks on your ad, they will see that ad for at least a year. So they will keep seeing that ad. We will keep planting that seed until they go, oh, fuck it, I'll book a call,
You know what you can do in this slide specifically in her scenario. So now let me, like, after you finish explaining content, email, SMS, and ISA qualification, you could have literally said something like, so now let me ask you this for Zana. So let me ask you this for Zana. You have said that you've been running your social media and it was working pretty well for you. It brought you more or less 20 people, yes? So now imagine what will happen if even when you stopped, people still will see your content and your ads for over a year. Do you think you will be able to get more people out of it than only 20?
We do this for multiple campaigns, depending on the information we're able to collect and verify. But a lot of the time, these are the methods we use. So email campaigns, content retargeting, SMS campaigns, and assay qualification. Now, this is an important step to prevent time wasters, right? As you probably spent too much time the past few months just being on calls with time wasters. Like it's just a normal occurrence. People join calls or people book calls without any intent to actually change anything, right? Here I have people who will, before booking a call with you, will text them from your profile, from your business profile. We'll have a conversation with them. We'll make sure that when they get on the call with you, they're as qualified as possible. Everybody says qualified leads, qualified lead generation is a scene.
Especially since you mentioned to me that you are only working with a certain quality of people or certain qualification. So based on that, we could also discuss what people do you work with, what people are the 9 people from your team are working with, so we can redirect it directly to them. But then it will also make sense if you will know what commissions she's making on that.
Because
Because
so in the
then it will not just
presentation,
be,
I'm supposed to always try to present while mentioning as much shit they said as I can, right?
Well, yes, because otherwise, how the fuck does this apply to their situation?
Yeah, I see.
No, because like you need to understand. In other ways, this comes like, what the fuck? My phone isn't charging. It comes across as if, what the fuck have you gathered all that data if you're not utilizing it? And at the same time, you need to understand if something applies directly to the situation, they're not gonna see this as an add-on, they're gonna see this as something that can actually help their situation. Because let's say you're making $1 million a year and I can save you time. On the basis that you don't have a problem with saving time, you will not be interested. Now, on the basis that saving your time will allow you to, for example, make more as for example, this is something you have told me in the discovery phase. Wonderful. Now, out of nowhere, something I potentially may be able to sell you is more relevant to your situation. It's like you will try to sell a weight loss program to Frederick. It will not work. If you will try to sell it to her, the likelihood of, someone buying in this case is pretty high.
Seems to be a trend recently in services.
To sell.
Huh?
So that would be a bitch of a product to sell in sales calls. Because then basically the whole negative report is getting them to admit they're fat.
Well, yes. But there is also a reason why she was in a wheelchair, because her fucking ankle broke down, both of them, because of her weight, probably.
Whoever.
Yeah, Matthew, you weren't there. She was in a wheelchair because she had apparently an accident. Both of the ankles died.
So when she
Yeah.
said accident, I should have been like, accident, got it, wink, yeah.
Or you can say, what accident? Did you jump? Like,
So, tap dance.
Nobody has actually anything to show for it, right? We talk to them personally and make sure they're actually qualified. This way also your closing rate becomes higher. Why referrals do so good, as you've mentioned, is because when you are referred to somebody, closing becomes easy, right? Closing referrals is one of the easiest things to do. With this step, we get normal outreach leads as close to referrals as possible. So closing becomes way easier. Talking about posts, obviously will also enhance your profile. We'll have static. These are supposed to be moving, but I guess my
if it's not fucking moving, don't mention it, because it shows incompetence. And I really hope you have changed it, because I know you still need to change it. Huh?
Like literally after this presentation, I went and changed everything and then I sent it to you.
I'm very glad to hear.
presentations lagging.
It pissed me off.
So we have static and video posts, roughly one a day, just to keep your profile active, just to keep your profile interesting and entertaining.
Especially due to the fact that we are generating you more or less traffic that is going through your profile. So the last thing they want to see is a dead profile. That's where we are actively posting. We're keeping everything up to date with stories. So they can also see you're not only a human being, but you're also someone who has expertise in the topic that they are interested in. Which I will also show you in a second, because if I'm not mistaken, the next slide is stories. Fucking
Right. So to summarize roughly, we create traffic through ad campaigns. They are then exposed to your content, which we also take care of. They're qualified through what they think is conversations with you, and retargeted. Meaning if they end up backing off, they will keep being pushed to look into you again and again and again until they eventually do.
Yeah.
And we do stories, right? These can be client testimonials. That could be one small part that we may ask from you, just happy client.
I like how at the beginning of the presentation you mentioned it doesn't seem like a 4-year-old made it, yet yours one look like a 4-year-old made it.
What did I say? Like a 4-year-old made it?
Oh no, you said someone from a 4th grade made it.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, change a difference. Like that doesn't really make a difference to the context of it.
Invites, updates, basically your daily life as a financial planner. A lot of these, in my experience,
In your case, by the way, you can quite literally say, on Monday, we will do CTA. Whenever someone is interested in financial planning, they can, for example, DM you financial planning or planning to just get a freebie, just so you can educate them. So whenever they're gonna think about getting a financial planner, they're gonna come to you because you have already provided them enough value. On Tuesday, you will post food whenever you go somewhere with your team. It seems like you like food. Wednesday, we will do client testimonials, where, as you said, you have 150 clients. So I will assume they are satisfied with what is that they are doing, especially if one of the terms and conditions that you have with your company is that you keep every client engaged and that you speak with them more or less as soon as possible, like as often as you can, just to be sure that they are all up to date with the current situations. Then on Thursday, again, if you go somewhere with your team, even when you have a team meeting, we can just post something about this. And on Friday, whenever you're going to have an event where you can, for example, invite certain people to, we'll be more than happy to also create face-to-face invitations. So people can not only see you as someone on the screen, but even someone in person.
90% of these stories can be handled by us. Obviously, when it comes to, for example, client testimonials, unless we fake it, I can't create a client testimonial from your client by myself, right?
You can, honestly. There is a chance that the client testimonial will be better, but yeah.
But in my experience, most of the stories we also take care of, so you don't really need to spend your time on it. Do you have anything you're wondering about so far? Any questions, maybe?
No, I'm just processing everything.
Right.
It is- So you guys run the social media, my social media presence basically.
Yeah, but we couple that with ads, which is rare. You know, you probably know if you run ads, what is your funnel?
You can quite literally say yes. So you have mentioned to me that you have spoke with someone who wants to run social media with you, and at the same time you are also willing to do LinkedIn ads. So we will be able to combine those services where whenever we're gonna run ads, it will also be traffic towards your social media, so your social presence will grow even faster than what you have experienced in COVID. Again, using relevant information she told you, but again, you have also not really clarified what's the ad spend budget on LinkedIn that she's willing to put in. And you have also not clarified what the situation with the social media guy is.
What does your funnel look like? You said that you launched some ads before. Where does the ad take the person?
Well, I mean, if you click on it, it will take you to the
She never did. She wants to do LinkedIn ads.
No, she said she ran some LinkedIn ads. And she's talking to somebody about handling their social media.
Yes, but LinkedIn ads are working differently because what she meant is running ads for example, advisors. This was in the context of advisors. So she can get more people under her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how LinkedIn works? So
Yeah, like hiring.
LinkedIn, yeah, on LinkedIn, when you post recruitment, for example, you pay them basically on daily so people can apply to it. And it's, I think, 50 bucks per day, something like that. So it's even more than ad spend that, for example, she will put into your system.
website to do an app.
Right. Now, if you click on an ad, by the time you're on the website, even though that's the, so to speak, traditional way to do it, if you click on an ad and you go on the website, and the website's complicated and there's a lot of difficult terminology, and you have to scroll and search for the information you actually are looking for, by the time you find it, your curiosity is gone. You kind of don't care anymore, you know? Unless it's easy, it's right straight to your face. So this is where social media comes in handy. Because on top of the fact that you build your brand, on top of the fact that you might get referrals simply from being active on social media, as you've gotten before, but better numbers, as it will be done consistently, people feel a connection, right? They will get to your Instagram page, they will see you being active and excited about your job and being competent. So in their head, you will be the person they will think about if they ever consider financial planners or if they have any need.
I would not want to think about her when it comes to financial planning. It may be my personal opinion. I don't know if you relate to it or not.
I don't know why that is. That's strange.
Right? It will be way more personal. It will be effective from multiple angles. And in my experience, it's more efficient than standard funnels.
And over which platforms would this run on? All social media platforms or just Instagram or Facebook?
When it comes to content, you can post it wherever you want to, especially because we're going to give you access to it. However, the main sole focus is going to be on the Instagram and Meta in general. Yeah.
So we do primarily Meta.
Okay.
If you have a wish for it, we can also, on the side, develop your LinkedIn. Because, for example, one of my clients, he already had some presence on LinkedIn, so he was afraid that if we focus purely on Meta, we would sort of disregard his LinkedIn presence. What we did, we just worked on both. As in, the posts are slightly different, the copy is different, small adjustments, but we kept all of his social media alive, so he was happy with it. Right. Yet, as you know, clients of financial planners are predominantly over 25. At least from what I've been told in all my work with financial planners so far. There's a few exceptions, right? But it tends to be slightly older people. So Facebook does well. Since we do Meta, in general, Meta ads, we kind of cover both. So we cover the older demographic, but through Instagram, we also cover the younger demographic. So if there's somebody younger, find you on Instagram, perfect. You know. And this will also indirectly help you build a team. Unless your goal is to build a team, we can also create a...
You're so retarded. Because like this will be This will be self-explanatory on the basis that you will have collected the data about the qualification of the team, what quality is coming to her, what people are being redirected to the team. Again, you don't have any information about the team. You have also never asked her if she actually yes, from the last call, which was in December, you know that she mentioned that she wants to build the team. But at the same time, she was kind of forced into managing the team. And you've never really asked about the goal of the team. The only thing you know is that she wants to get 50 clients for herself this year. Do you see the problem in
No,
that?
but that's again from the last call. Because I do remember.
Yeah, but like,
But
have you
basically
clarified? Because-
yeah, I should clarify, yeah.
Because when was the last time you spoke with her? Was it December? Was I right?
Yeah.
That was 3 months ago. She could have lost weight by this point. No, like 3 months is a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to business.
The campaign targeted specifically at hiring, of course. But even without doing that, solidifying your brand to your region, as well as we do, will also make it that any starting or any new financial planner will see you as an important figure. They will consider you if they're looking for a place to start, a place to work, right? So we'll make the selection process also easier.
So not only it will allow us to hit your goal of 50 clients per year, but it will also allow us to, whenever you want, to hire 6 or even more advisors. Just bring it to the point, because currently you're just speaking without the point. It just sounds like you're justifying what you have just showed her.
So I should like summarize basically.
Wait, this is the end of the presentation, but there are still 35 minutes. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't remember. I was just closing, answering what I don't remember.
No.
And would this be a monthly fee or annual fee?
Well, it usually depends on what we agree on with the client. And money-wise, it ends up being the same. But before actually talking about pricing, I think it's important that you voice any concerns that you might have, right? It's important that we talk about because you probably have some questions of some sort, right? Clarifications. So ask away. Once I'm sure that you have no questions or that all your questions have been answered, then we can discuss pricing. How's that sound?
That sounds awesome. I remembered something about email and SMS campaign. Where we have what's it called now? We have a system where we can send out bulk emails and all of that stuff. So if we just do the online presence, the posts, the ads, and send the prospects, as we would call them, to me, and then I do the campaigns and stuff, is that an option, or do you guys need to do everything in the process?
Well, email and SMS, email specifically, because it seems to me that's your concern. We have as part of this, we have some email outreach involved. That's the whole part about the pixel tracking. So anybody who's interacted with the ads, whether they actually finished text or reached out to you or not, we get their information through that line of code. So we track them and then we do the outreach. Already, basically, instead of just looking for people in your demographic you think might be interested, here we already have people we know are interested because they clicked on an ad, right? And then from there on, it's the standard email campaign. And now that part, if you really want, and if you have a system that you say works, if your system gets 40% response rate, maybe 10% booking rate, or something like this, I see no reason in not doing both. However, we usually take care of both. Like, my job is not to make your job more difficult, right? So whatever you already do, we can implement and optimize. This is let's say
and by the end of the day, if we will hit them from 2 points, they are gonna catch to 1 of it. Again, you need to bring certain things that you're saying to the point. And you have also...
So I need stronger points. Okay, like summarizing.
Yeah, because like you're kind of answering a question, but also not really.
The golden nugget of our system is the ability to adapt. Because
Oh, good metaphor. She likes nuggets.
it's stupid to believe that one system can work exactly well for everybody, right? Our system allows us to adapt to whatever the client has been doing, to whatever to whatever the client is doing, to whatever the client needs. So if you have a system, we can look through the numbers, we can see if it makes sense to update it or to optimize it and to keep it, or if it just makes sense to scrape it and start a new one. But then again, all that is done. Like, I can't tell you a genuine advice without like knowing numbers.
Then with regards to the ads, would I be providing the material for you to place them, or do you guys do that?
So
as well?
we do, as I've explained earlier, that also covers ads when I said that 80%, 90% of the posts and ads comes from us. Now the 10 leftover percent is stuff that
Is, for example, the video content where we will provide you with the script. The only thing you need to do is just record it. And we can also tell you from which angle, which lighting, which position, just to make it for you frictionless as possible.
let's say to make the page real.
Because again, like, she likes it when it's comfortable.
Right, like what I mentioned earlier, client testimonials, right? That was about stories. But when it comes to ads, we rarely tend to actually need something from you. Of course, we need a bunch of information at the beginning about your firm to post accurate ads. However, at the end of the day, we take care of most of it, if not all of it. There's going to be rare occasions when we actually need something you to do. That makes sense when it comes to ads and social media posts. So you can focus on what actually matters, you know, talking to your clients, nurturing your team. Like, nobody wants to pay somebody to make their life more difficult, right?
And they say you'd be surprised, I promise you.
Yeah, I've talked to my fair share of people like that too. But
have you spoken to other South African planners, financial planners?
no, but I have obviously done my research. I tend to work mostly with planners in America. As you know, the profession is predominantly American. In Western Europe, there is almost no such thing at all. But from what I've talked to some of my clients and from the research I've done,
It's a very big market in Germany, by the way.
it seems to me that the regulations, even though different, are a bit lighter in South Africa, which, if anything, makes our job easier. Because a lot of, like, obviously my team takes care of a bunch of it, but a lot of what I do personally, since I have a legal background, is making sure that when we do ads for US planner, that it complies with the state regulations, that it complies with the federal ones, which is daunting. From what I've taken a look so far, in South Africa, it seems to be a bit easier to do that, to comply with everything. Unless I'm missing something.
No.
But why? Just be confident in your abilities, especially if you have a low background. Such a
No, but that was a shot in the dark. I just assumed because US regulations are usually shit, I did not look into fucking South African regulations.
Believe it or not, you can, with money, you can, you know, change many things in South Africa.
No, you're not missing something. When it comes to ad placements, there's not much that you need.
Especially because the reason she asked this question is because she's not sure if you have been working with someone in South Africa before. So you want to make her feel like she can trust you with the South African market.
So that's why I said, I figured I say no, which is true, so that I don't put myself, like, don't set myself up in case there is literally some big thing I don't know about. But then I said the stuff about the law to show that I'm still competent.
No, but again, it is a hit or miss. So might just as well take a confident miss. And staying confident.
Yeah, I've worked with a few, but I tend to work with US ones mostly, right? Something like this.
Yes, or you can say, oh, I started working with a couple of South Africans, yes, however, they moved to US, where the market is more dominant.
Oh, cool. That's that way I don't need to answer the question of, oh, who are they? Maybe I know them, you know?
Yeah.
Smart.
And then you can quite literally say, but if you want to only stay in South Africa, wonderful, zero issues with that.
Need to adhere to. But we can't really use the company logo or anything like that in our ads. So when we place ads, you as the financial advisor must have your own brand, like your own business. You create your own logo, your own branding, the whole shebang, and you're completely separate from whatever product supplier or insurance firm that you are working with. So
that's what
Makes it easier.
That's why my service is exactly as is. I've tailored it specifically for financial planners. And like you can imagine working with clients from the US, mentioning company name, or a lot of the time in some states, even promoting yourself in a professional context, if you're a financial planner, can be prohibited. And not even on state level, it can be prohibited by your broker.
And we're utilizing information from other call. Very good. You're showing knowledge about the niche you have gathered on the call.
It's insane to me.
Right.
So I had to adapt to that, you know? So I think in South Africa, it's not going to be a problem. Creating your brand, creating a logo, my guy will do it in 15 minutes. It's not a problem, you know? That's why we focus on the branding, on your branding, on your brand. Does that make sense? So when people come to you, they come to you, not your company. And then
Yeah.
whatever company you're at, or whether you switch from a company to being independent,
They'll follow you.
it doesn't, like, your presence, your brand doesn't suffer.
100%. Have you ever came across Corbus Klein on LinkedIn?
Across what? I'm sorry?
His name is Corbus Klein. I know it's like I'm gonna send you his name on WhatsApp.
Let me check it out, yeah.
I think he's actually
That's it for me today. I'm gonna quit. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Frederick. Who the fuck is Corb?
Yeah, I need to go like as well. Do you think we can finish it tomorrow or Monday?
Sure, just write yourself the time down.
Yeah, 1 sec. What is it?
1 hour, 4 minutes, 55 seconds. And who's Corbius? Corbus.
So I looked into him. He's basically like an annoying old planner that wrote a bunch of books and has like basically old school marketing done to a high level. Like cringy, shitty quality looking books and websites and a bunch of LinkedIn followers and bullshit like this. So he's like the planner in the.
Believe it or not, you can buy LinkedIn followers.
I didn't know that.
You can
1
buy
hour, 44 minutes and what, 55?
1 hour, 4 minutes and 55 seconds. You can buy everything nowadays, Alex.
Could you, before I go, could you send me the recording of Isma's calls from today, the first two, so 9 p.m. Dubai and 10 p.m. Dubai.
Write yourself the date. I'm gonna upload everything tomorrow. So on the base that's gonna be uploaded and you remind me of the date and time, I can send it to you.
I will, and also the thing you said yesterday, you sent me a sales call and you said you can.
Walking through the presentation.
Yeah.
Just write yourself those things, those 3 things down. I can send it to you.
I'll just write them to you on a WhatsApp whenever you get the chance. Just send them.
That's fine.
Awesome. Okay, good night, guys.
Guys, do you have... bye-bye, Alex. Thomas, Matthew, do you have any questions in those last 10 minutes? Damn. Silence. Matthew, are you gonna go to sleep after this call? Bet I wanted to take your sales call to review and I wanted to move forward with it. With your disappointment.
I have one sales call 7 minutes long, so we can handle this.
Sure, send it to me. Tommy, I'm sure you don't mind watching a sales call for 7 minutes.
Yeah, no, go for it. Let's go.
Why do I even want to just send me the link? Why is it 7 minutes?
Because it's from you, and the prospect came across as someone who wants to only do pay at closing.
Okay, then it's your fault that you have not handled it. But sure,
Yeah.
send it. Damn, Matthew. We have a new personal record.
And the way how this guy was talking was pretty great. So
Pretty great. What do you mean by that?
you're gonna see.
Do I want to see is the question of the day.
I think you can skip the beginning, as he had problem with connection to earphones, so he was unable to hear me.
Thank you.
So
Thank
not
you,
even
it's not 7
7.
minutes.
Even faster. Okay, so hello, David. How are you doing today?
The audio's on. Sorry.
So-
There you go.
So it's working now? Okay, good. So how are you doing today?
Internet's fine.
Okay, and how's
How
your...
are we doing today? Okay.
Sorry, but I can barely hear you right now. I try to change something. Can you say something, please?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Testing.
that's gonna be better, hopefully. Okay, so how's your real estate business been so far this year?
Also good.
Why the fuck did you ask this year?
It's 3 months. Enough time.
How was your start in this year, business-wise? Well, okay.
It's been
Wait a second.
our entire contract.
Nephew, this is not a sales call of 7 minutes. It comes across that it's gonna be 1 minute, 1 minute 15 seconds.
So we also have time to discuss this.
There is nothing to discuss so far.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's better also. Okay, David, so the main goal of this call is basically just to learn more about your real estate business and how we can help you reach your goals. So today, I will just ask you a couple of questions to better understand 3 important things. I would love to explore what has been working well for your business, areas where you might be facing challenges, and any specific goals you have for your growth. From there, if I think we can help you, I'll show you what we do. If I don't think we can, I'll be the first one to let you know. Sounds good?
No. Are you a lead generation company?
Oh, so you're a bitch? Oh, he instantly overtook the control of the call. Please don't tell me you have answered that question.
Or are you a content cultivating company?
Well, lead generation is just a part of our services, what we do.
Do you charge an upfront fee or a monthly recurring fee?
Well, I'm more than happy to share this information with you later during this call, but I just already...
I don't have time for that. I spoke with somebody on the phone the other day and let them know that I don't join any companies or hire companies that charge monthly or upfront startup fees or anything like that. Everything is done at closing.
Wonderful, but before I say anything, I will need to understand your situation. So how about we do it and you allow me to ask my questions? Otherwise, you can leave the call right now. So how is it gonna be? So you fucked up. He immediately just made you his bitch. And you were smiling like you were happily took it. Did you say thank you?
No, because I already knew like how this is gonna go, right? I told him,
wonderful, but this is also something you need to practice.
yes.
Do you remember one of the laws, which is killing the killers?
Yes.
That's a killer.
Yeah, but I told him the agenda. I told him that I'm more than happy to show you
No.
everything.
But this is the problem because you have answered his questions.
I answered the first
You need to
question.
understand. When someone is that aggressive, you need to put him back into his place. Otherwise, he will not respect you at all. Like, you need to understand from his perspective, he jumped on the call. In 1 minute, he has figured out every information he needed to know.
He assured me that that was the case. So that's why I'm here. If that is not the case, and you're going to drag this on forever, we cannot work together. So.
Okay, well, what we usually do upfront fees and then monthly retainer. So
in that case, you need to speak with your virtual assistants or whoever it is you're hiring because they lied to me over the phone. And if you're hiring, if that's how we're going to start the business, we cannot work together on anything. So thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye, mozzarella. No, you fucked up. And you lied to me as well. It was not 7 minutes. It was 1 minute 15. You liar. No, but do you understand where you have fucked up? Because even if you will not be willing to work with you, wonderful. That's a beautiful practice sales call. For negative report, for discovery part of the call, for even fucking showing the presentation. Because then like are you familiar with the fact that a lot of I don't know, it's an odd way how I'm gonna formulate it, but a lot of broke people have the tendency to say that someone with money is lucky, or that he was able to make money because he's lucky. Are you familiar with that? There is not such thing as luck. Obviously, you can win in the fucking lotto, but then you're gonna lose it immediately. There are cases where there was the 18 or 19-year-old from London. He was working as a waste management, basically garbage man. He made, I think, 9 million or some shit like that because he won in the lottery, and he lost it after a couple of years because he spent everything on cars, prostitutes, alcohol, drugs. So there is not such a thing as luck. Luck, or being lucky, is basically preparing yourself, building the skills, and building basically every single fundament you can, and this build up hitting the opportunity. This is what most people describe as being lucky. So this is one of the basically beautiful examples that just showcased if you will have a killer on the call, which, believe it or not, a lot of intellectual buyers are going to be killers. You will lose the shit like immediately. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad, because the last call you had was pretty okay. But like, do you get my point?
Yes, yes, yes.
And on top of it, you lied to me, you bloody bastard. I was promised 7 minutes. It was 1 minute in hell.
But it was 7-minute recordings.
Yeah,
That's on my
5
phantom.
minutes. 5 minutes of it was you playing with yourself. And it was fixing the issues, and then it was being raped.
Okay, and now what should I say in that situation? Because I said that.
Oh, quite literally what I said. When you have answered his first question, where he said, are you a lead generation company, or are you a content cultivation company? And then he asked another question. Instead of answering that question, you could have said, look, I'm more than happy to discuss everything with you, but in order to even answer your question properly, I will need to know what it is that you're doing, and you're currently not allowing me to do that. So unless I can even start asking my questions to actually understand where you are, where you want to go, I'll be more than happy to walk you through everything, because currently it's absolutely irrelevant for me to answer your questions. So are you going to constantly interrupt me, or can we move forward with it?
I tried to tell him that, yeah, I'm more than happy to show you.
No, nothing.
You can you can take a look on it.
We've been watching the same recording. You have not. You have at some point felt offended, personally offended, and you said, "Oh yes, we are charging upfront and monthly fees, so you can go." Like, this is quite literally what you did. I can show you if you want to.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Then I see you guys either on the next session in 15 minutes, or if not, I see you tomorrow. Or no. I see you on Monday, unless some of you has one-to-one with me. Oh, and Tommy, can you message me tomorrow so I can send you over the presentation?
Yes, will do. Thank you.
Also, the niche and everything is done. Like, I just need to send it to you.
Banging. Thank you very much.
If you remind me, I just put it into your onboarding package.
Okay, sweet.
All right, cool. Then I see you guys when I see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.